Terry,
Good
growing up in
morning.
the 80s and the 90s, in the 70s too, late 70s probably, I think the best beer commercials at the time were the Miller Lite commercials. Do you remember those?
I do, yeah. Yeah.
They had the great athletes, they had the comedians and actors, and the I would say the pop culture, some of the pop culture icons and athletes at the time. And one of my favorite comedians from that era probably wouldn't be allowed on TV today or even on YouTube or anything like that, but was Rodney Dangerfield. You remember him?
Yeah, I do.
See,
You
just
get
thinking
no
about him.
respect.
Yes, I tell you, I get no respect. But
No.
he just had those bug eyes, kind of looked a little like Laurel Lightfoot. But anyway, he he. I remember one commercial with him and they're bowling. Do you remember that?
I don't know if I do or not. Remind me about it.
So they're bowling and Rodney's on. You know how there used to be like there's bowling teams, right? There still are bowling teams, and there's one team A and there's team B, and they're bowling,
Yeah.
and they have like when they're bowling, there's a combined like score, right?
Right.
So Rodney's going up, and he's wimpy against these big NFL players, and I think it was Mean Joe Green told him, "Just one more pin, Rodney. Just one pin, Rodney." They just needed one pin to win. Do you remember this commercial?
Yeah, I think I do, yeah.
I would show it because it's on YouTube, but I don't want to upset the tech overlords or the oligarchs that run all the big corporations and show 2 minutes of a funny commercial, 2 seconds. And next thing you know, we're getting deluged with emails telling us how horrible we are as people. But anyway, Rodney rolls the pin, the bowling ball, it hits the one pin, and the bowling ball kind of goes doink, right? He doesn't run it over, right?
Yeah.
Classical Rodney Dangerfield stuff. Well, that's how I feel about yesterday. Just one more horse, Rich. Just one more horse.
I know. And the only horse we didn't put in our picks won the race, and that seems
Now
to
the
always
sixth
happen.
race, yes, the second leg, and cardinal sin on our part, Terry.
Yeah,
is in the and until you sit down and actually do something like what Terry and I are doing, you don't really. It's hard to understand. I would say how difficult it is. It's not really difficult, but you're so focused on so many things to bring everything together for a quick 30-minute show that sometimes simple things you overlook. And one of the things that we unfortunately overlooked, and we hope you caught it, was that there was only one other horse left in that one race. We could have alled it and stayed within our budget. And under 99.99% of the circumstances, Terry and I would have did that. If you caught that, then that pick 4 paid $1,000 for 50 cents, Terry.
Yep, that's right. And, I would have caught that if I was doing it myself and not trying to hurry and get things done. And yesterday for me was a hard day because I had some really technical issues prior to the show. So I was really trying to rush and didn't even think that we only had one horse not in that leg. So.
Didn't cross my mind either, Terry. Yeah, the mad face, I agree with you. Kevin, both of us looked at that afterwards, like not even after we hung up. We were like, you know what, Terry, there's only one horse in this race. I think we should all it. But in any case, I hope somebody caught that and you went ahead and you all that leg and hit that for. The thing that really bothers me about the Terry is I feel like we did a great job of handicapping, right? In that first leg, we took the one horse with the 4 horse. We both mentioned that, man, that 4's drop looks suspicious coming out of a grade 3. Sure enough, the horse doesn't run. The one horse wins. The next race, we've talked about that. The following race, we brought the 2 horse up on the screen and talked about how horses that show speed and get Lasix, that's a powerful combination. It worked again, went off at 11-1. And in the final leg, I mentioned that the 6 horse in that whole series, the whole sequence to me, was probably the primary single. We talked about its odds are probably going to drop. It went from 5-2 to 2-5. The odds inversed. I didn't expect that. Yeah. And it won. So I feel like we did everything perfect. We did 99. We were like Ivory Soap yesterday, Terry. 99.44% accurate.
You're right about that. So,
and that 0.44 just kicked us in the shin. We'll go there, right? We won't go any higher than the shin, Terry. That's
nope.
We're an appropriate TV show that you can listen to with your kids in the car 99.44% of the time.
That actually hurts more when you get kicked in the shin than the other place.
No,
I think it does.
We should have a survey on that. Well, that's not even close there. One makes you sing soprano, the other just makes you jump around.
Well, that's true.
And I'm nowhere near a soprano, but at times I can get there. Anyway, all right, let's talk about some serious business, Terry. Some news today. Unfortunately, racing this weekend at Laurel might be in a little bit of limbo. They literally had a rough patch in the stretch coming home near the 16th mile, 16th mile marker with a 16th mile left to go. So kind of like a pothole in the track that some horses were running into and cracking their legs. They found it. Unfortunately, those horses had to be put down. But I think until they get the track situated so they know it's no longer an issue, the Laurel racing this weekend might not run.
Yeah, that's true. They replaced this surface during the year this year because they had not kept up with it for years and years and years. And anytime you do that, sometimes it creates problems you can't foresee. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's happened here, and they're investigating it right now. So, but it's a shame. Like there was that one filly that was 4 for 4 that died during a workout. So.
You just hit that patch in the track. They said it's the same patch. So they have it like marked off right now with cones. Like if you're driving down a bad street in Chicago, where they don't even mark off the potholes here. It's just like, boom. Oh man. And then the next thing you know, I think they do it on purpose so that you have to go out and get new tires and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably. You're probably
right.
I
agree. See, Tom Carley says shins hurt less. I agree wholeheartedly.
I'll tell you what, I was thinking about getting kicked in the hiney, not somewhere else.
No, Terry. I said a little higher, not a little higher right behind. A little higher, yes, indeed. Yeah, I don't know how to track superintendent, but I would think, Terry, you have some experience in this. You come out of the construction world, right?
Yeah.
So I would think that when you shift the ground around, there's an opportunity for an air pocket or something along that can develop under there as the earth settles, right?
Yeah.
And then when it does, you don't know it's there, and then all of a sudden it's there.
Yeah, it's like maybe a little dip. So when the horse comes down with its leg, it jerks it. And, these thoroughbreds have been bred so long and for speed that if you remember looking back like in the 50s and 60s, they were a lot sturdier. Their legs looked a lot. They're a lot thinner now, and so it doesn't take a lot to
opposite of humans, huh?
Yeah, it's true.
We're a lot less thinner now. You look at the photos, you go in a downtown building in Chicago and they have photos of like what's called Oak Street Beach or North Avenue. Yeah. There's like one overweight person.
I know.
Everybody else is like strapped, and they were eating meat and potatoes, smoking cigarettes, drinking beer. They were doing all the things you weren't supposed to do, but they looked like they could be on the cover of a magazine, every single one of them. Yeah. And then now everybody's on diets. We don't smoke. We don't drink. We don't do nothing wrong. You look at the beach, it's the exact opposite. There's one skinny person on the beach.
I know. It's true. So
anyway, off we go to a little better news. Well, I don't know if this is better news. I guess in some ways it's better news. Did you know that there were things that you can't bet on in Las Vegas, Terry?
I had no idea that they were having problems with not being able to bet on the Kentucky tracks and that sort of thing. So I didn't know that. So.
I didn't know that. So all the things you can do in Las Vegas. Apparently, one of the things that doesn't stay in Vegas is Kentucky horse racing. You're right about that, right? So it looks like, though, that's about to change because they just did sign an agreement with the folks at Churchill Downs and Las Vegas to allow Fairgrounds, Turfway Park, and Oaklawn Park betting in Vegas. So if you're going to Vegas to bet horses, the only thing apparently you can't bet on still is Kentucky is the Churchill Downs races. So you can't go there to bet on the Kentucky Derby. That seems kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, I think this is something that just happened in the last few months where they got into a contract dispute on what kind of percentages, who would get what. And I think that's part of what the problem was.
It looks like this has started. It says it's prevented fans in Nevada from wagering on races for the home of the Kentucky Derby since October 27 to 2019. So this has been going on for a couple of years, Terry.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, is that amazing or what?
Yeah.
So you can do anything, kind of any kind of any part of the mafia economy you can do in Las Vegas except betting on horses. Amazing to me. If you were going to bet on horses, though, one thing I know you'd want to bet on in Las Vegas, Terry, that would be your best bet. Your best bet yesterday won, right?
It did. Chillin' Lady won the fifth race and paid $420, $340, and $220. And then my second.
How did anybody behind her do?
Well, my second pick ran third. My third pick ran out, so didn't get the exacta. But $420 sounds like a small amount to people, but that's actually 100% of your money and a little bit more than 100%.
Well, the thing is,
So,
in Vegas, if you go, we were talking about Vegas, you sit down and you bet blackjack, right? And if you don't
yeah,
get blackjack, you just double your money,
that's right.
right? So it's people look at it differently. Like you'll gladly accept those odds,
Oh yeah,
and then
absolutely.
if you're on the roulette table, you actually get less than 1-to-1 odds,
That's right. That's
right?
right.
If
Yeah,
you look at the odds themselves,
yeah. So today I picked the third race at Aqueduct for my pick of the day, and I like number 7, Out of Sight. Ran fourth in the first race at Aqueduct at a mile, and now stretches out. So she finished second at that mile only by half a length. So I think this is going to help her. She's going to get blinkers added today, and her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters. And she has a bullet workout November 4th, third best of, I'm sorry, 3 furlongs, 37 breezing.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 5, Lady Thornhill, closed to run third versus similar to her last race at a mile. And now she goes a mile and 16th, which should benefit her. And then number 6, Hit the Nail, came wide into the stretch, which affected the finish for her. And the trainer that then wins 25% of the time when he takes a horse from maiden claiming to straight maiden. So.
Mm. So Terry does do his best bets of the day. If you don't catch him, because we won't be here tomorrow, I'll be here with Tom tomorrow to talk about international racing at Wolverhampton. Sounds to me like like I said yesterday, like a Marvel character. Should be one if it's not one. The Wolverhampton character in Marvel that saves the world, that kills Thanos. But in any case, you can find them over every day at horseracingtoday.net. Again, that's horseracingtoday.net. We'll be posting Terry's there. We'll post his pick there a little bit later on today, along with the show. In case you missed it, you can catch it over there, along with some other nice things. All right, Terry. So today we're going to travel off to New York, to Aqueduct, to do our Fly 4. Yesterday, like I said, we made a cardinal sin. I put together a checklist of things not to miss today. So hopefully we don't miss anything today, Terry, and we can catch it. But this is going to be a difficult sequence, I think, Terry, because you have 8 horses in the first leg, 11 in the second leg, 8 horses in the third leg, and 9 in the last race. So that makes 6,336 possible combinations, Terry. We're looking for the winning one. And that's why we always say, if you're doing if you're paying attention to what Terry and I are doing, keep an eye on the exactas, trifectas, superfectas, rolling doubles, rolling triples. Because the pick 4 really is, at least in this day, a 1 in 6,336 chance that we get it right.
That's right. Yep. So
it's a little bit less than that because we're putting multiple horses in, but that's the bullet ticket. But only 1 out of 6,336 combinations can actually be a winner, though. All right, Terry. So let's start with race number 6. That is a 8-horse field, 6.5 furlongs, Terry. And, it's pretty early in the meet. So far, they've run 6 races at the distance and surface. 4 of them were won by speed horses. 3 of them, of the 6, went wire to wire. And it looks to me like there is the rail has not won. But if there is a bias that's emerging from the first 6 races, it looks like to me outside horses have a little bit of an edge over the inside horses. So why don't you start with the rail horse?
Nope. I'm going to start with number 7, Big Al Scow. That's my first pick of the day, or top pick for this race. And she's got Kendrick Camush, and also Bob Atlas is training, who's won 30% of his races so far at this meet.
Mm-hmm. And then he was a Robertino Duro understudy for a while, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Absolutely. She has the best dirt speed among today's starters. So she won a really nice race October 31st at Belmont, won by 7 lengths.
Yeah, that was a big effort last time out, no doubt about it. The one thing, it was a little bit slower pace than the previous race, maybe because the horse was running on slop. Has hit the fast track. It is fast and firm at Aqueduct today. So, we our streak of raining places and canceling tracks has come to an end, Terry. Yeah. So the horse has hit the board in 4 or 6, done its best work, it looks like, on a fast track. So it's going to get that today. In addition to what you mentioned already, it's also making its third start off a layoff. Looking back at its previous 3-race cycle, the third race looked a lot like the second race. So if this race looks like the last race, Terry, should be another win. For me, in this particular spot, Terry, I'm going to start with a horse, Moonrock, the 4-horse. It's undefeated in 2, improved from race 1 to race 2, ran on the turf last time after debuting on dirt. So it looks like it can run on turf or it can run on dirt. It has put in some bullet workouts since that last race in June. I also like that Monmouth angle, Terry. It got to the front without any urging, stayed on the front without any urging. So today, Victor Carrasco will have something in his left hand to give the horse a little bit of urging if needed. Undefeated horse, shows speed. Speed's been the way to win. I think Moonrock has a shot at a decent price.
I agree. It's my second choice. So, it's out of a sire Malibu Moon, who's out of AP Indy, which is pretty good breeding. Like you said, it's 2 for 2, perfect. And it really increased its speed rating between the first race and the second race.
Right. Who do you like as your third selection here, Terry?
I like number 2, Coe's Rose. I guess that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, it's like one of those
Coe?
carp, no?
Yeah. Yes.
Like a koi carp. I think that's how they spell it. Oh, no, that's clothes rose. No, I was looking at something different. Yeah, okay.
Chloe.
Clothes rose, or Chloe. Yeah, whatever.
Chloe, whatever. Yeah.
Chloe's rose. Chloe rose. Uh-huh.
Well, she just won a 6.5 furlong race at Belmont in October. Won it by 2 lengths, and she's got a trainer who wins 22% of the dirt starts. And so she's trying Aqueduct for the first time. I think she's going to do very well here.
Yes. Looking at the last race, you do see some improvement in fractions early on in the race. They got a little bit slower as the race went on, but the horse probably didn't need to extend itself. So I like that because the horse did win last time out with Manny Franco, the first time Manny Franco got on the horse in a while. So that's a positive to me as well. So I don't really feel like Manny had to make the horse work. It did get to the lead and then was able to cruise home. So we talked about that yesterday with horses that get easy wins, so they really don't have to work that hard. So I don't really think that last race took a lot out of Chloe Rose. And I agree with you. Chloe Rose, I think, has a really good shot at winning this race. And then also with that horse, if I remember correctly, yes, the horse is hit on the fast track 9 out of 10 times in the money. So definitely one that prefers a fast surface. In 2 races on and off track, did not do very well, either it being off track or on the turf. My next horse, Terry, is a little bit of a value play here, I feel like. Number 6, Aqueduct de Pays. Maybe I have to call Tom to ask him how to pronounce that. You got Irad in the irons, who's winning at 29% so far at Aqueduct, so before he ships off down to South Florida. Horse last time out, he got a series of seconds, hasn't run in a while since August, Terry. So that's a middle of the road to okay workouts. One really decent workout on November the 1st, 36 breezing at 3 furlongs at Belmont. So I like that as well. I think that the horse has done very well at Aqueduct. It's got 4 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3 in 14 races. And in that sequence, produced the highest score for any horse at Aqueduct.
Yeah, and you must be looking at my notes again because that's my 4th pick. And as far as the distance goes, this horse has ran 4 times and been in the money 3 of those 4 times. Hasn't won, but ran second twice and third once, and is probably going to look to win this time. Closes from mid-pack. It's ended up running second the last 2 races at Saratoga. And to me, Saratoga is a really tough place to place well at. So
yeah, tough, the graveyard of favorites, so to speak. So I don't know how much deeper we can go here. If there were a scratch today,
yeah,
the horse that I would probably want to stick in here would be the 8 horse.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so we're in agreement. Race number 7, Terry. We'll move on, as I don't think we can go much deeper than 4 because this is, again, a very deep tickets. There's not, I don't think, in the entire sequence, a standout horse. I know you singled one, but I couldn't do that in my hot dog. So race number 7, it's a mile and a 16th. I guess it's on the inner turf course. They don't call it that because it's inside the dirt track. I guess it's just their ordinary turf course. Yep. They've run 15 races so far. So far, 9 of them, Terry, were won by stalkers and closers. So there's clearly a bias towards coming from off the pace. Of the 6 horses that did go out early, 2 of them went wire to wire. And it looks to me like you want either your horses to be on the inside, so the 1, 2, or 3, or on the outside. The middle horses have struggled so far in the first 15 races, though 15 is not a deep enough data set to say that it's an absolute trend. How do you want to start this one?
I like number 6, Ariel. Drops in class today, and the trainer wins 31% of the time with first-time claiming races.
Brittany Russell.
Yeah, the source comes in from Laurel. Had won 2 in a row at Laurel. What I like about it is it can either go on top as as it looks like to me, or it can come from off the pace, or it can actually close from way back where. If you look at that first race of mile at Laurel, it was 18 lengths when it broke out of the gate, and it closed to fourth within 6 lengths of the winner.
And it's always been well bet at Laurel. I'm not the biggest fan, Terry, of horses coming from Laurel to Aqueduct or to Saratoga. As you've known, we've talked about that many times. More often than not, those horses, if I write them off, more often than not, I don't regret it. So I'm not writing off the 6-horse because I do agree with you. The horse is a top contender in here. That first race on turf looks pretty good. They have tighter turns at Laurel. There's tighter turns on the inside track at Aqueduct. So I would think that it should line up nicely, and that's probably why Brittany Russell shipped the horse in there, because I don't know that it'll be a ton of difference as far as where the horse feels. I'm going to go with the track bias, Terry, here with the 11 horse as my first selection. Not necessarily my first pick, but one that fits the track bias of what's emerged so far. That horse is Girl Dad. It's a horse that last time out was 10th at the break out of 9th at break, 10 horses back at the break at Aqueduct, finished 5th, only 4 lengths off. It does have some of the best late kick in this field. And when you look at, and here's something I really like to look at, Terry, when I'm doing my handicapping, I'll bring it up here real quick. I hope everybody can see it. But when you look at this horse last time out, the fractions were 46 and 4, 48, both at 1.116. Keeneland's track's a little bit different than Aqueduct, obviously, but there was definitely an improve in the fractions here. And that usually is a sign to me in the horse. If you look at it, 111, 4 lengths, 5 lengths is about a second, roughly speaking. So that's the 4 there. So if you add a second, that's 112. So ran about 4/10 of a second faster at Aqueduct than it did at Keeneland. It's the third start off a layoff for Girl Dad. So Girl Dad's on the outside, which seems to work, should be closing. And I do like the fact that it improved last time out.
Well, I didn't have it as one of my picks, but you made a good case for it. So let's put it in.
Being persuasive again.
That's right. So,
well, the one I was persuasive about yesterday won, right?
That's right. It did.
The one horse at the first leg. So anyway.
Absolutely. So,
hopefully that's a good luck charm.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, well, my next pick would be number 2, Alley Oop Johnny, and it's coming in from Monmouth Park, where it finished 4th by 3 lengths. It was a beaten favorite, and the trainer, when bringing back a beaten favorite, wins 24% of the time, and it comes in and drops in classic for this race here. It's raced at Aqueduct 1 time and has 2 times and has a 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the workouts in this horse are pretty sharp too coming into this race, Terry. A little bit weak at the distance with only 2 seconds in 8 races. But I do feel like when you look at some of the speed numbers, you look at Bruce Bowen's, as you mentioned, bouncing back off of the beaten favorite angle, it works out pretty well. I did have that horse as one of my 4th selection. My second, the one horse that we haven't mentioned yet, Terry, which is my top pick, should have probably started there, right, is number 5. Volario. Have you familiar with that horse, Terry?
I looked at it. I just I didn't have it as one of my picks, but
all right, I'll lock it in because it's my top pick. So it's making its second start off a layoff. Last time out, Terry ran at Aqueduct, and won, and did so with a big closing rush, and that was exactly at this track, right? It was Aqueduct, 1.116. It ran one of its best speed. In fact, it ran its best speed figure ever in the first time off a layoff, and that was the first time the horse had run in a couple of months. So Michael Maker, when he keeps his horses in the claiming ranks, he's won 27 of 98 times. That's a pretty good hit rate right there for you, Terry.
Yep.
And when you look back at the horses last time out, when it made in a 2-race cycle, it made a step forward in the second race. So won its last race. If it improves in its next race, which is this race, then you have a shot for a horse to have an even better run than it did last time. Repeats last race, it's a repeat winner, Terry.
Okay. Well, for me, I don't know if we have enough room, but I like the number 1 horse, Orban in the Tower. And Orban in the Tower, if you look back to the turf race in July 5th at Belmont, it won that race pretty easily at Belmont, and now it's trying Aqueduct for the first time. It has a high percentage trainer. Todd Fletcher, of course, has won 24% of the starts here at this track, and then Ortiz Irad is riding 29% clip, winning clip. So in the last 14 days, those two have had 2 wins out of 3 mounts.
I did look at this horse too, Terry. And just one reason I put out, I did look at that specific race at Belmont, but those fractions were super duper slow. And so you had 52 opening quarter, opening half, 116-3 at the 6 furlong marker, 153-3, and it won by 1 length, and it was up near the front. I don't think the horse is going to catch those kind of fractions today, but it is making its third start off a layoff. And if there is a scratch, it would be probably the horse or one of the horses that I would consider putting in there. I don't know that we can add it in there, Terry, because I feel like we're going to go at least 3 and then 4 in the next 2 legs, which maxes out the budget.
Absolutely.
So I did the bullying again, Terry, and I went ahead and locked it in on you. So you get to be the bully next. Race number 8 is this one is, hold on a second while I page down. Forgive me. There's too many horses in the last damn race that aren't running. Too many main track entry onlys and alternative entries. So this one is a 1 1/16. I mentioned this previous one was on the inner turf, or with the regular turf track. This one is on the outer turf. So the turns are a little bit different, much wider, much different track in terms of the a little bit more room to move throughout the turns than you do have on the 1 1/16. They've only run at this one so far 6 races, split evenly between speed and stalkers closers. 1 went wire to wire, Terry, and so far it looks to me like the only position that does not or hasn't gotten a W yet is the rail. So that's going to be the 2-horse Space Launch, because the 1 horse, My First Grammy, was a main track only entrant. So Space Launch gets a little bit of a ding right there going to the rail, Terry. Outside of that, every other post seems to play fairly fair in the 6 races so far that they've had. So which horse do you think is the best horse in this race?
Well, I really like number 6, Advise and Consent. Has Irad Ortiz in this irons. It's trained by Chad Brown. And it's, he's got the trainer, Chad Brown, wins 30% of the races with maiden wins. And then on the last race. And then it won at Belmont this last time at 1 1/16, which is the same distance they're going today. So
I agree with you. I have the 6-horse rated fairly high. I got an email yesterday, Terry. Maybe you got this email too. There's a horse today that is running in here, Carruthers, the 9-horse. And it is a My Racehorse horse that's available for, I think, $101 per share.
Yeah.
So I decided to go look into this horse because I'm thinking about maybe buying some shares in Carruthers. So I'll be interested to see how this horse runs. Maybe we should run to the window and buy it right now, Terry. I don't know. So I decided to look back at this horse and see, how it did. It really had a really kind of awkward start in its debut. But that horse that when you look at the past performance, the horse that won that race, Rebel's Romance.
Yes.
That Rebel's Romance has won, I think, 4 out of 5 races, including a stakes race. So that wasn't a bad horse that it lost to. And it was gaining ground late. It just got off to an awkward start. The next 2 races made easy work of the competition. I feel like Carruthers has faced much better competition than it's faced right here. It's run well on an all-weather track, so it doesn't concern me whatsoever at all, because all-weather to turf is not a scary angle to me. Every trainer and jockey that we've talked to, for the most part, have told us it's a better indicator than dirt to turf. I think Carruthers, 9-1, if it goes up in odds, that would be even better. But I feel like this is a horse that's going to show up and run very well.
I agree. I've got him in my picks, and I liked it. I liked him. The only thing that's a problem for me is that it's hard for me to decide on how horses are running, overseas versus here. I have some problems with that, but I'm learning. I'm learning a lot from Thomas about that. The breeding does suggest that I like grass. And Lasix was added, so that's going to be good. So. Yeah,
like I said, it's run against some quality horses and beat them. And I don't think that there's anything in this field that he hasn't. I don't think there's any horse in here that's better than what he's faced already. There's not obviously a stakes winner in here, I don't believe. So he's faced stakes winners.
Yep.
In any case, who else do you like, Terry? I think this is the one where we have to go 3, unfortunately, because that next one has got the next one's crazy deep. So who's our final pick here?
Well, I like number 5, Public Information at 10-1 this morning line, and it has a highest last speed rating, won its last race at Aqueduct, and its best turf speed is fastest among today's starter, and it has this hot jockey trainer combination who's won 2 out of 2 races in the last 14 days.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of horses that can unfortunately beat us in here. The 7-horse, Terry, the 5-horse.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the 5-horse, the 7, the 6-horse. So,
and even the
4-horse,
even the 2-horse, although it's on the rail, I think that's a scary horse too. So
there's a lot of scary horses in here. To me, if there's a scratch, Terry, the scariest horse to me is the 7-horse.
Yeah, I agree. That's my next pick. Yes.
Caveat Empire. Horses run very well at Keeneland, Kentucky Downs, putting in some bullet workouts. Colonial. I mean, should we put the 7 in here and go 3 deep on the next one? Or
I think so. Yeah, I'd like to put the 7 in there.
So. All right. So if there's a scratch, who would you put in there?
Let's see. I'd put the 2.
The 2. All right. That means we only got 3 horses here, Terry.
Okay.
So in the last leg, I kind of like to usually go home with the bang, but all right, let's go ahead. This is 1 1/8 on the main track, and maybe we can get away with this, Terry. I think we can get away with only 2 or 3 horses here, maybe. So you have maidens, $80,000 special weights, 2-year-old colts and fillies. I don't think there are any fillies in the race though. So all right, Terry. So who do you like?
I like Authorized, number 2, and Jose Ortiz rides it. William Mott is the trainer. Ran second versus Similar in its only start. It was heavily bet in that race. Has a very sharp workout on the 27th of November of 47.3 breezing, 3rd best out of 157.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like Authorized too, Terry. And I have a feeling I know what you're gonna do with your next one. So I'm gonna let you take that next one. I'm gonna go all the way to the outside, Terry.
Number 10.
Number 10, Courvoisier. I think that's a drink. No, I'm not 100% sure. I don't drink anymore. But anyhow, horse is coming in from Delaware. It's missed by a nose last time out. In this time around, it got some decent workouts since. They paid $600,000 for this horse. It's not a cheap horse by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, it's one of the most expensive horses in the field. When you're looking at some of these horses that are 2-year-olds, it's not a great indicator, but it is a good sense of what the people originally thought of the horse. I mean, you're not going to pay $600,000 for something that you think is worthless, right?
That's correct.
It's improved in each one of its races from race 1 to race 2 to race 3. I expect you're going to see that trend continue, and it does have some of the top pedigree scores in this field. So I feel like the 10 horse at 12-1. Oh, and last time, this was something Terry and I have talked about before too, how we've missed a lot of horses that were well bet the previous race, but ended up having high odds. And I know I said I'm not a big fan of the Delaware or Monmouth and all that stuff to the Aqueduct. But in the 3 races this horse has run, it was $1.70 to 1, $1 to 1, or even money, and 3 to 5.
Absolutely. I like the horse a lot too. My 3rd pick. One of the things that really is good to me is it's improved every single race at speed rating. And I love to see that. It means that it's getting into better form all the time. So it has the best start speed among today's starters. And it has the last race speed rating is the highest. So, when Kelly Breen brings a horse back that's been a beaten favorite, wins 26% of the races. So, yeah, I agree with putting this one in.
All right. So I already know. We're going to put the one in here, Terry, to fill us out.
Yeah, that's the one I like.
All right. So, yeah, the one horse, that's the other. Yeah, that's the Irad Ortiz horse.
Todd Fletcher, yeah.
Was not really as well bet last time out, though, 25-1. So I was a little bit concerned about that number, and that's why I went to the 10 horse. The only other horse that I was considering in here, Terry, was that 5 horse Citizen Mac.
Yeah.
Because it was well bet against Authorized last time out, finished behind Authorized, a wide distance. So considering how much Authorized beat Citizen Mac by, I felt like there's nothing in the workouts for Citizen Mac, who's making its third start off in its career, that it should reverse the fortunes with the 2-horse. So that's why I have it as an alternate.
Yeah, it's a good alternate. It was my 4th pick.
So there you go. Let's see if we can close out our pick 4 week, Terry, at Aqueduct in New York, at the rowdiest track from what the jockeys have told us.
Yeah.
With the 2, 4, 6, 7 in race number 6, race number 7, the 2, 5, 6, and 11, race number 8, the 5, 6, 7, 9. In race number 9, the 1, 2, and 10. And on the right-hand side, here are our English, Richard, our alternatives in the event there is a scratch, Terry.
That's
all right. How did you feel about that?
I like it. I've got a good feeling about today's. And what I like is I like the deeper fields because if you hit it, you're going to get a lot better, payoff than you would with the
we had one yesterday. We should have had a grand though, Terry.
I know.
I'm still kicking myself in the shin, and Tom Carley agrees the higher than the shin hurts more. A lot more. Now you agree.
Yeah, I agree with both of you now. So
all right. We could do that as yesterday I talked about how I'm willing to take the buzzer for charity. We'll give the money for every second, maybe $1 a second or something like that. You're not going to do the buzzer. I'll do the buzzer.
I won't do the other one either.
But you get to do the other one. We can measure which one hurts more, to kick to the shin or a little bit higher. And see, we'll do it like this. It's $1 for a kick to the shin and $10 for a kick higher. What do you think?
Well, I guess I could put on some kind of a device.
Some protection.
Something.
We'll go with that. All right. So let's see how we lined up our pick 4s today, Terry. There's yours. You think that first leg is wide open. I think a lot of these legs are wide open, Terry. If I had my way, I'd probably go 5 by 5 by 5 by 5 all the way down the card. But unfortunately, I've put a limit on our budget. So tell us what you have here.
Well, I like in the first race the 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8. And
now you didn't miss one there, did you?
I think I did probably. But the thing is, I like to go a lot of times I like to go heavy in that first leg. Matter of fact, a lot of times I just go all. And especially if I think it's wide open.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the second leg, I went with the 1, 2, 6, and 9. And then I singled the 6 in the 8th race. And then in the 9th race, I took the 1 and the 2.
Yes, we are in agreement with the 1 and the 2 in the 9th race. I went 4-6 over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. The 4-horse is a best bet. So I didn't single it, though, because it is a bit of long odds. So I went 4-6 there. And race number 7, I went with the 5, 6, and 11, the 11 horse that Terry didn't have. So I persuaded Terry on 2 horses in the first 2 legs. Actually, I think I locked that second one, and I played the jerk there.
That's all right.
Race number 8, 5, 6, and 9. That My Racehorse horse. I got a little bit of insight too from a friend who's got some insights to those My Racehorse horses. And then finally, race number 9, the 1 and the 2. Terry and I are in agreement. So hopefully, the 10 horse doesn't beat us if we're both live going into the last leg, unless, of course, the 10 is worth more money than the 1 and the 2 combined, right?
That's right.
Absolutely, for sure. Then yesterday, Terry, in our Book It Up, I ended up having so all my horses finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th, I think. I got beat by a 30-1 in race number 3 at Delta Downs. I guess if you went all over my horses, you had a great day. The reason Yin Yang is red is because it is a best bet at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. We have 3 best bets every day for every track at every race, where we cover every race. But I go with the 2, 4, 6, 1 in race number 6 at Fairgrounds. Terry, you stayed at Aqueduct.
I did, and I went with the 4th race. I went with the 4, 7, 6, and 3.
In case you're unfamiliar with the Box It Up, what we do is we pick 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box, $25.20. Terry, how did yours do yesterday? Did you hit anything yesterday?
No, I had just one that got in the money. That's the race that the one that we left the 1 horse out of there.
No, that it won?
Yeah.
Of course.
So,
I mean, 13% chance, and it happens to us.
That's right. So
when does 13 equal 100, Terry?
Well, I don't know. When does it do that?
When you and I have every other horse. Right? 13% equals 100% for sure.
Yeah.
And then today's free track, Terry, over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet is Woodbine Racecourse. Yesterday, Turf Paradise was the top track. So if you go over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet, you'll see over here Woodbine is free. Just need to register, and you'll get all of today's Woodbine picks, including the 3 best bets at during the card. So you see race number 1. We think the 1 horse has got a shot to win. Inspector Reload. Terry, yesterday's free track was Turf Paradise, and we should have did the pick 4 there because we hit the pick 4 there. There was over $7,180 in potential payouts, including in race number 2. There was a $2 superfecta with the top 4 picks, so you didn't have to stretch or go like in the 5th or 6th pick, or just the top 4 picks. It paid $1,285.
Wow, that's pretty nice payoff.
That's a beautiful payoff. So we've been,
It is.
the free tracks that we've been putting out there, I don't know if it's just luck or what, but they've been doing pretty well.
Yeah. Well, I find that a lot of the sheets there, guaranteed tip sheets, do very well. So even the ones you pay for, they do fine. Matter of fact, I had one the other day that the top pick paid like $28 or something like that. So
paid well, yes, for sure.
It did, yeah.
Well, tonight you and I will be back after a break last week on Thanksgiving, so we can have a little bit of time off with our friends and family. Tom and Sean will be back with us tonight. Not sure if we're going to have a guest yet. We're still trying to line somebody up. But if not, it'll be the 4 of us. And what we're going to do is they have a lot of these Sunshine Million like prep races or I don't know what you want to call them, like precast races. But in any case, we're going to do the late pick 4 at Gulfstream Park for Saturday with the 4 of us. And just like Terry and I do, all 4 of us are going to put together a pick 4 ticket. So should be a lot of fun. Hopefully that ticket pays off. And if anything's for sure, Tom is going to have a big long shot in there. I feel like that if it comes in, it'll make for a heck of a ticket, right?
I think you're right about that. He seems to be able to pick those long shots. So
absolutely, for sure. Hey, the Capper, no, we thank you for joining us, my friend. If you like what you saw, Capper, please do us a favor. Tell your friends about us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, however it is you communicate. If you're new to the show, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at racingradar.com. Racing Radar at Racing Radar on Twitter and Facebook. You can also follow us at starting now. We have a new Twitter feed at HR Today. I think it is on Twitter. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but we'll get that to you folks later on. You can also follow, like I said, we put Terry's picks up. We'll place the show over at horseracingtoday.net. There's also a lot of free picks over there as well from local experts at local tracks. Terry, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here?
Yeah, I'm just hoping everybody's having a great week. I am, and I hope that if you're betting on the horses, you're winning like crazy and stuff in your pockets,
full of cash.
Yeah, full of cash. You're betting on the stock market. Good luck.
Yes,
very
a lot of luck
up and
these
down
days
right now. Yeah,
yes. Stock market is red.
That's right. So
bleeding.
I know it is. It really is.
Well,
so everybody stay safe. Have a good week, and we'll see you tonight.
Yes, we'll see you tonight. And as always, Terry, we want to make sure that both your horse racing bets and your life and day end up in the
winner's circle.
Have a fantastic Thursday. We'll see everybody tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, here at Horse Racing Radar TV, where we will do Gulfstream's late pick 4 for Saturday. Have a great Thursday, everybody.